of the 2025 PGA Works Collegiate Championship presented by Chase and Kohler. A premier championship for historically black colleges and minority-serving institutions since 1987. New champions will be crowned today. Thanks to our partners at Kohler, the world-renowned Whistling Straits will provide the ultimate test for these student athletes. Our champions will follow in the footsteps of Ryder Cup heroes and PGA Championship legends who have left the shores of Lake Michigan etched in golf history. This championship is shaping future leaders both on and off the golf course. Now on behalf of the PGA of America Reach Foundation, enjoy the show.
NBC Sports proudly presents final round coverage of the PGA Works Collegiate Championship from Whistling Straits, presented by Chase Sapphire and Kohler. What was once farmland 100 years ago has become one of those bucket list golf destinations. Nestled along the western shore of Lake Michigan, Whistling Straits is a championship venue which will be even more challenging today because the weather certainly has changed. The winds are up, gusting nearly to 35 miles per hour. Temperatures hovering around 50 degrees, wind chills in the upper 30s to low 40s, exactly what you would want, at least from the outside looking in, on a championship Wednesday where 5 champs will be crowned by day's end. It has been a sensational 3 days here in Kohler, Wisconsin, as we take a look at some of the action we're going to see here on the Straits course. The leaderboards from the men's Division I, Arkansas Pine Bluff. They've never been in this championship before, and what a debut. It has been a big lead over North Carolina A&T. We're also going to see some individual play here on the Straits course. Igor Zubov from Delaware. His lead is down to 4. Could get interesting on the back 9 for the women. Miyu Takahashi, the senior from Nebraska, started the day with a 6-shot lead. She has extended that advantage to 7. Time now to take a look at the tournament format, which is presented by Titleist. Those 5 trophies going to be handed out a few hours from now. Both courses in action here at Whistling Straits, the Irish course and the Straits, and you'll see the men's Division I, the men's and women's individual on the Straits, on the Irish, the men's Division II, and the women's team wrapping up as well, shaping up to be a really good 3 hours coming your way from Kohler, Wisconsin. So glad you could join us on this Wednesday. Steve Burkowski alongside Doug Smith, the 2005 individual champ of the PGA Works Collegiate Championship. Let's start with the weather. Mother Nature has reared her ugly head on this Wednesday. What are the challenges these players will face and the impact it's going to have on these courses?
You know, a lot of players, Steve, have not played in wind like this ever. It's so up. But coming into the week, I talked to a lot of coaches. They talked about how they had been working on flighting shots and using the ground to your advantage when you can. The key here, trying to hit your shot shape. Try to curve it one direction, keep the ball out of the opposite side.
I touched on the fact you won this individual championship 20 years ago. What were the emotions like? What were the challenges for you on that final day?
Well, it was a lot of mixed emotions. I had my mom out in the field. This tournament's always been around Mother's Day, but it was that morning breakfast when you really started to feel those nerves. You really had to calm down, get in the process, and I didn't calm down until I got to the range that morning. That's probably where a lot of players settled in. And just stick to your game plan. Boring golf, as we've talked about all week, pars and birdies, and yeah, you're going to make a bogey. Just get over it and keep it moving.
We're going to lean into that experience as some of these try to do the very same that you did 2 decades ago. You've already heard from Doug and me. Joining us, as she has all week long, Amelia Durant on the course for us, watching some of those final groups on the back 9. Great look from high above. It never gets old, the views, the vistas at Whistling Straits. We head out to the action at 9. Takahashi, the 7-shot lead, 2nd shot on the way.
See that wind just coming off the right. Burko trying to use it to her advantage, dialing in that distance. Wow, I'll tell you what, getting out of here with a birdie really go a long way. Get over to look at our tournament leader, Igor Zubov. 9 under par in this campaign. Made a double a couple holes back, so trying to just keep this lead. Currently 4 shots over his teammate. See if he can hang in there. Just stay around. first look at. Another blue hand, Hunji Kim. Her approach shot here at 9. You can see when that wind starts getting going around here, Burko, really easy to miss kind of whatever the direction that wind's blowing.
Yeah, you talk about staying patient, boring golf. This is the pinnacle for so many of these men and women to play in this championship. And you referenced the fact this is kind of new, the link style course and shots that maybe we haven't seen, like here at 11, appears to be driver off the deck for KJ Hofa-Hinawe. That's one way to keep it low.
Yeah, just go straight driver with some heat. But that is the one thing you have to look out for. Just hit that right in the middle of the ball. Now it's probably just as good as the layup that he would have done otherwise. So birdie still in play. But let's take a look at this Straits golf course. Par 72. Tees had to be adjusted for the wind, designed by Pete Dye and Alice Dye. You see it open for play, but it's the fescue, the bent grass. I mean, head pro Mike Aschenbach and Brandon Shaggets, they've done a great job. But Steve, that number, over 1,000 sandy areas. Somebody told me earlier today that it was about 1,400 and change to be exact. A lot of activity around here, and really have to make sure you're managing your golf ball. However, do you need to do it today with all this wind?
Yeah, if you can avoid the sandy areas, you will likely be ahead of the game. We go to the green at 10, Igor Zubov, that for bogey. You referenced the double at 8. It's getting a little bit more interesting. Now just a 3-shot lead. About 90 minutes ago, Doug, that advantage was 6. It has been cut in half. You start to feel that pressure. You start to wonder where the leaderboard is you can look at to get a beat on how your teammates playing, how the rest of the field's stacking up. Let's go to the green at 10, Hyunji Kim, 9. Hyunji Kim, freshman from Delaware, hails from London, England. Best finish so far this season, a 6th place showing, but hoping to do a little bit better. And that's something we need to get into over the course of the next couple of hours. That's a tap in for bogey for Hyunji Kim. We talk about the wind, and you said ball flight trajectory. How about on the greens?
Oh, yes.
That's a whole nother issue.
No, no question. It's one of those things where you just have to find your balance. You know, a lot of players will impart a little bit of a wider stance. You could even grip down on that grip just to get some stability.
All right, this is Miyu Takahashi, also at 9, the senior from Nebraska, from Japan. And what seemingly would have been a relatively routine putt, anything but mischance there, as that was a look at birdie.
Yeah, I can't get over just watching the hoodies blow. It is so windy. I mean, the players from Nebraska might have the best advantage today because they've seen wind like this on the golf course.
And they've also played on a Pete Dye design back home in Lincoln. Maybe that will serve them well coming down the stretch. Takahashi bundled up, ready for the challenge. 9 holes to go. She looks to win a women's individual title here at Whistling Straits. Today's coverage of the PGA Works Collegiate Championship is brought to you by Chase Sapphire. Upgrade your travel and dining experiences with Chase Sapphire. And by Kohler, helping people live gracious, healthy, and sustainable lives.
We're going to just talk about golf and how this event is a platform and catapult into being employed in the golf industry.
And that's what this whole tournament is about. They don't have to be the best golfer in order to work in the golf industry, and we want to create more opportunities in different fields.
The PGA Works Fellowship set me up for success because it opened up my eyes to a ton of different careers that I never ever thought would be possible.
Putting myself in this experience just to kind of further my career when I get older and just having those networks to fall back on.
It can make a pathway to your aspirations or your goals or what you're trying to achieve.
There is no easy way to success. The path is always the same. Belief in yourself, investing in yourself, hard work.
There are so many opportunities in this industry. Don't think it's just on the golf course. We hope you join all of us in the golf industry to leave the game in a better place than it is today.
One of the many great events and festivities that surround this PGA Works Collegiate Championship. Doug, I know you've been a big part of everything beyond our broadcast, and it can be life-changing for these men and women if they use it the right way.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you can also be in the profession of the game. There's so many opportunities. The game needs lawyers, doctors, so many other roles.
Back at 11, third shot on the way for KJ Ofahinawe, a sophomore from Utah Tech, and despite maybe the uncertainty of the driver off the deck with the second, pretty good third, and it gives you a great indication of just how long some of these holes will play today.
I just question the play, though. Driver off the deck, and with all the trouble around everything on the 11th, could have hit it there with an 8-iron, but safely aboard.
Let's go to 12, Rodrigo Barahona, the junior from George Washington. He's got this for birdie, came into this week with 3 straight top 10 finishes, in position to make it 4 in a row.
And we are at that wind speed, Burko, where it will affect, it will start to move balls as they start to slow. Now the greens are perfect condition. It really won't blow around on the surfaces, but that last 2 or 3 feet can really throw it offline.
Well, these courses are designed for the potential of weather like this, correct?
Yeah, a lot of the greens are kind of hidden by these built up stacks of sand.
All right, this is Ofahinawe. Actually, quick update. This is to try to say par.
Putting right back into the wind.
Yeah, we have to always keep you abreast of. Got the kids keeping scoring, great volunteers all around, but we saw the second end up in the bunker, or excuse me, the sandy area, so had to get it back out into play before we saw that shot. So not the way he wanted to start on the back 9. Head over to the 12th once again. This is putter Vibun Viri Yasakul, and that name is cool. The junior from Stetson, originally from Thailand.
Every so often you get some breezes just outside of Orlando.
Stetson in DeLand, Florida, about 40 minutes north of Orlando, and the nickname of putter applies quite nicely right there.
Oh, no question. Rolling the rock, giving it some pace. 2 under for the day and the championship. He's still knocking on the door. We'll see if Zubov can hold on.
Well, with Ofahinawe giving 1 back at 11, he's 5 off the pace. Agor Zubov has a 4-shot lead over his college teammate Arsit Arifun, also from Delaware. He's a sophomore, so we'll watch those two maybe battle it out. And still others in the mix. We have seen plenty of speed bumps coming in these final few holes, especially along Lake Michigan.
It's almost you're like penalized for small misses, almost rewarded for the bigger ones.
This is Manuel Barbachano at 12 for his par, also a junior from George Washington. What are some of the keys there? We saw the wind coming off the water. That goes 6-7 feet by. What would 1 or 2 things you would focus on putting in these windy conditions?
You have to be cognizant of speed. What kind of speed you want to impart on the putt? Do you want to go ahead and take that aggressive route and have exactly what we see right now? Or you can kind of have that little drip speed, play more break. I always like to see the putt just effort gently over the front edge.
But how much can you have holing speed when less behind it, the wind will likely take it from your intended start?
No. I mean, again, downwind, say the greens are at 11 right now. Downwind, they're going to run about 19. They're that fast.
All right, makes the comebacker for bogey, does Barbachano at 12. And I guess all you can do is laugh, sort of shrug your shoulders. Indifferent last few holes for Barbachano. We go to the green at 10, pick up Sienna Harder, freshman from the University of British Columbia. Women's individual champ a year ago from that same institution.
Yeah, trying to be like her teammate, Una Chow. Oh, how about that catch? Sometimes you expect to miss out here, and then just sneaks in the right side.
Way to go, Sienna, on the 10th, playing the second hardest hole today.
10th is such a brute. It's so hard, the tee shot. It's visually deceptive. You've got this big drop off just off the tee, and it's almost 220 yards just to carry it up to that level area.
Keep it here at 10. This is Mega Wala Abeneni, junior from Western Michigan. Northville, Michigan is her home. How about this resume for her junior year? 9 top 25 finishes, 5 of those top 10.
Well, this part of the game has to be intact if that's been how she's playing. Just didn't get that one to release. Putter blade just stayed open on that transition.
Great look from high above as we make our way down to 11, the par 5. That's where we're going to find the final group of the men's individual competition. Again, 3 champions will be crowned on the straights course today, 2 others from the Irish course. It's been a rotation between those 2 over the last 3 days. And Amelia Duran watching this group.
It's been a grind for this group and for this entire field. Wind is blowing 35, 40 miles an hour pretty consistently. When you have these conditions, you have to have excellent ball control. And you also have to understand that it's tough for everyone out here. Doubles are normal. You could hit a good shot and the wind totally takes it. Timur Malik, 121 yards straight back into the wind, playing more like 140, closer to 150. His ball is on an upslope, which is going to make it difficult to flight this down.
Malik, the junior from Long Island University, made the long journey from Kenya to the States for his college career.
It looked like he had like 8 iron there from just a short distance and just hit it straight through the fan.
Well, that's what's happened a couple of times between Malik and also Zubov. Zubov's hit great shots with his irons in the last 2 holes, but they've both been long. It's so easy to overcompensate because you want to hit a little chippy shot, take some off or a ton off, and then all of a sudden you find yourself over the green. Just 75 yards here for Zubov. He's trying to flight something in low, ideally finishing this short of the hole.
Amelia, you were part of a national championship winning team at Wake Forest a couple years ago. When you would find a day like this where par was truly your friend, the conditions were extremely challenging with the wind, give me a swing thought you really tried to stay focused on for 5 hours.
Tempo. You have to make sure you have consistent rhythm. I also loved when the conditions got hard because it took out half the field.
Speaking of half, he's going to have to aim halfway between that camera tower and that hole location to get this close.
Yeah, he's good.
That's a good shot today, even though it's only 75 yards. Anything on the putting surface is good.
Zubov, originally from Israel, lived in Spain, has traveled the world, played some AJGA events back in the day. In fact, had 3 top 10 finishes in 2021. So a very accomplished player, looking to make a big statement here in the next couple of hours. Next to go, his teammate from Delaware, Arsit Arifan. He had 4 top 10 finishes in his sophomore season down there in Delaware. So another player heading into this one, Amelia, with some good form.
And speaking of form, I've been very impressive with the rhythm from Arsit's. Controlled his ball nicely today. This should hit that backboard of the wind, and it does.
It's so hard because you get that increased spin that you haven't seen all week. It was like this on that first practice round day, Burko, so that they have seen these conditions.
Let's go over to 12. Ofa Hinawe getting ready at the par 3. Will follow his tee shot with Top Tracer technology presented by Chase Sapphire. You're going to see some interesting Top Tracer follows today.
No question, just 130 on the scorecard link today. And going to get a lot of work over there.
Got to roll up the sleeves, dig in deep. National championships on the line. They're not handed out. You got to go earn them. We're back at Whistling Straits. Let's take a look at the men's individual leaderboard championship Wednesday. Igor Zubov with the 4-shot lead, and this leaderboard brought to you by our good friends at Kohler, but it is an ever-changing leaderboard, Doug, as we have seen so far today.
It's like the weather out here in Kohler. If you wait 10 minutes, it'll change.
Birdie putt on the way for a refund at 11.
That was a good adjustment from Marifun, even though he misread it a little bit. The last putt he had into the wind left it about 4 feet short, and it resulted in a 3-putt.
Have you noticed how when we played last night to try to get a feel for the course, I didn't really notice until today these little amphitheaters where these holes are recessed around, so that could actually have a little less breeze down on the surface level.
The players will certainly try and find some little bit less breeze if they can. Certainly some holes do that.
Zubov.
Not a ton of break here for Zubov. Going a little bit to the right. That's the wind holding it out there.
Every angle, every putt is going to be in a different adjustment from that wind. That wind just held it right out.
All right, let's go to 12. This the second for Ofa Hinawe. And it will test every part of his short game.
Now, the good news is he's pitching toward the wind, but it's also downhill to the hole location from where he's pitching from. If he can get something on it. Look out. Yeah, absolutely.
That's almost the wind stopping him more than anything else
question.
he did at contact. All right, let's go back to 11. Taimur Malik has this for par.
This putt for Malik will break to the left and exaggerated with that right to left wind. That's a third putt in a row he's not been able to convert for par.
Look at day form. It started off very promising. 2 under through 4, and it's been nothing but work since.
It's going to be work for all the men and women over the next couple hours. There's going to be nothing easy as Zubov looks to stay at 8 under.
These short ones are no gimme by any means. You're marking all these today. Oh dear.
And that looked like it was just right off the blade.
But then how much you start compensating, Doug, of, oh, is the wind straight into me, off the left, off the right? How much of a mind game can that be?
It can play an extreme havoc in your mental thought process, but you really have to go back to what is your read, where's the wind, and then add in that 1 or 2 more degrees that you feel it's going to be affected by.
Zubov back to 7. His lead is 3. Let's go back to the green at 10. Hannah Kono, sophomore from Nebraska. This for her par. Started at Oakland University in Michigan, transferred in to Lincoln. 4 top 25 finishes for the young lady who hails from Sweden.
You think that par matters right there to Kono? No question it does. Again, those little putts like that, they really can give you some momentum, and you have to really kind of ride the wave if you can get a couple of long putts outside of 10 feet to fall for par.
Take a look at the women's individual leaderboard. Miyu Takahashi, 8-shot lead. You'd like to think an 8-shot lead is safe, but you just don't know as we go back down the fairway at 10. Final group of women in the final group teeing off the first few hours ago here at the Straits, getting ready for her second.
Just to echo your point, you would feel pretty confident with a big lead, but out here with the way this course is designed and the actual wind, 4 shots is nothing out here today. I just didn't get that to the front. That's coming back downwind from her angle.
See that whole location at the 10th, tucked over on that right middle part of the green. And you see that flag blowing directly into the face of the player, so 10 is certainly no bargain. Here is Takahashi with that 8-shot lead. You had a big lead starting the day in 2005. How did you deal with the ebbs and flows of what happens in a final round with so much on the line?
Man, I did my best to just focus on the task and the shot at hand. This has to get up. Just trying to maintain what the mission is. The mission is to win, but you can't win if you don't find a fairway or close to one and then handle everything else from there, 1 shot at a time.
Let's give you a little peek of what the leaders are going to find at 17 about a couple hours from now. If you're committed, you need to start it over Lake Michigan.
You have to start it where you know the trouble is, but hey, if that's the payoff, then I'm going to start it all the way over there. Wow.
That might be the best shot we see all afternoon long as we make our way back over to the green at 12. See if KJ Ofahanawe can save his par. Mentioned it earlier in the week, worth revisiting, the cousin of Tony Finau. 2 guys you know really well.
Yeah, and he leans on Tony a lot. They play a lot of golf together. They communicate about strategy, and I'm sure they discussed this course this week. Wow, what a breaking short putt. There was almost 2 cups out left.
Got that hand warmer reverse tucked around there. Fire it up, try to keep those digits with a bit of feeling.
Put the hand warmers inside of it, get it nice and cozy.
All right, the green cleared. The tee now open for the final group of men of Zubov, Malik, and a refund. We'll get back to them in a moment. Let's go over to 10. Hungji Kim, her third, just short of the green, and the wind can be your friend.
Exactly, and that's the thing. When you're pitching from greenside, you can now take shots all the way to the whole location and get them to stop. They have been bouncing the last 2 days.
Great look at that flag stick blowing here at the 12th, Amelia.
Oh man, it might just be 130 yards. You're taking 3, maybe 4 extra clubs. It's so important when you're trying to flight the ball down that you take enough clubs so that you can hit that chippy shot that starts out low, put the ball back in your stance and feel like you cover the ball with your chest a little bit more. It's so important to be committed on your line. Any kind of doubt, and this ball is just gonna soar with the wind.
This is a day where your coach is like, I told you that this could happen while we're out here on the straights course. So this is why we've been hitting those flighted shots all week.
But it's a great thing if your head coach, the associate head coach Brendan Post at Delaware, also a PGA of America golf professional, he gets to walk with 2 of his guys today.
It's such a blessing when you're, as a coach, you're able to watch your players just moving on in the season. So much of playing a good round of golf is course management. In addition to into the wind, this is also well out of the right.
Oh, it's 130, but it's got to be playing almost 160.
Started that 10, 15, 20 yards right of the hole location, and it ended up about 10, 15, 20 yards left of the hole location.
106 feet of curve. I don't think I've ever seen curvature that high, ever, Amelia.
Well, so if you're going to flight as low, you don't want to go past that pin.
Yeah, I know, but I think like a flight down the full liner is not going to go.
You like that idea?
I'm aiming like right out this bunker, right?
Yep. As long as like.
I'd love to see an adjustment on distance control for Zubov on this one. The last couple of iron shots have been long. You want to error short. What has impressed me about the way Zubov has been able to flight it is it stays flighted versus his teammate Arsit started out low, but then the ball just soared up in the air.
Take your time, take your time.
I'll tell you what, it takes a lot to be able to step off a ball. Him to acknowledge that he was not mentally prepared. Reset.
100%, Doug. I usually say you never want to hit during a gust, but it's just one big gust out here.
Oh, that got up in the wind.
That wasn't low.
I know.
They say that's going to beat 106. There's 107.
It's still long.
At least there's a moment of levity because there's not much else she could do. We go to 10. Takahashi, this is her 4th.
Oh, she's in trouble over here, pitching straight downwind and uphill, trying to kill it into the hill. Well, this could go
off the green when it's done. And fortunate it didn't go all the way down the hill.
Flat, driven 7.
All right, back at 12, see what Tamor Malik can do. Amelia, any chance to try to hit a cut up into that wind?
I just think there's so much wind right to left that you would have to hit a 50-yard cut to be able to hold it off. So I just think you got to trust it, aim out to the right. There is a slope on that left side if you catch it.
I mean, the descent is just straight left. Oh no, not in the sandy area. Now you got to hit into the wind. That sand spray. Oh, it's going to be an entertaining afternoon.
Entertaining to watch. I'm not sure how much for those playing. We go to 13. Birdie putt on the way for Vibun Viri, Yasakul.
And all things considered, that was well judged, well done. We're just going to have to mosey around today. Keep your wits about yourself.
Mosey is a generous word. I think it's hang on, buckle up, and hope you can get it to the house, which is what Egor Zubov is trying to do in the men's individual race. He heads to the 12th green with a 3-shot lead. We are back at Whistling Straits, final round of the PGA Works Collegiate Championship. So glad you could join us. We're going to hand out trophies by day's end, and it is brought to you by Chase Sapphire. If you're just tuning in, we appreciate it. The wind is up, gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour. That is the second on the way for the men's individual leader at the 12th, Igor Zubov, and that's a heck of a shot.
Well, you can actually see how the wind just slowed that ball down.
Let's go to the women's individual leader at 10. Takahashi for double bogey.
Oh, no.
So that's going to be a 7. We said a short time ago she made the turn with an 8-shot lead, but this back 9, I'm not sure how safe that felt. It's now down to 5, just like that.
And everything can change in the blink of an eye. You go a birdie, a couple doubles, and we've got a little tighter race as we've got an entire back 9 to play.
You can just see the wind whipping around as we go back to 12. This is Arifun, his second.
Oh, there's a little slope on that right side Arifun can use to kick it to the left.
Try to use the flag stick to stop it. I will say, Amelia, there does seem to be some fun out there in these conditions.
It's fun for us because we get to watch them hit all these kinds of shots. I will say, after this round, every course to these players is going to feel easy. That's what I loved coming off of a difficult golf course. Whether it's firm greens or difficult conditions weather-wise, I just felt so confident in any other golf tournament I played in.
You know, for so many of these men and women, Whistling Straits, they've never been here before. This is a championship venue, and when people tune in, maybe not familiar with the names, but these are so very talented student athletes. The job they've done on the golf course and off the course as well. Once you start to peel back the layers, Doug, you realize just how successful all of them will be in whichever endeavor they choose.
Yeah, and as far as student GPA goes, I've talked to a lot of student athletes here this week. They're dean's lists. They're 4.0 students, so I mean, this is going to be one of the higher GPA'd fields in golf.
Refund for his par, and that's a nice save.
Oh, and it just feels like you made 2. Feels like a birdie. Actually, any pars today will feel like birdies.
And we've got to guesstimate that the scoring average will be 3, 4, 5 strokes higher than we've seen the first couple of days. Still some action to be played on what has been a sensational week here at Whistling Straits. So many people doing a lot of work behind the scenes, like Chris Zugel, the director of agronomy and landscape for Kohler. You can't mention the Kohler family and not have it tie into Whistling Straits. David and Nina, the commitment that has been made to this championship through 2029. Mike Aschenbach, so many. We thank them. And I know these men and women do this as well. And Malik, good par as well. You just got to find a way to get it done today, Doug.
You've got to find that gear, that special place that all golfers, all athletes kind of possess. And like you said, Steve, scrap around, find something to just get it done. And don't forget, you can play the ground out here as well.
Zubov for his 3.
Well, that's the second time that Zubov has backed off. And Doug, that gear you mentioned also really comes into play mentally. You can't for one moment back out or lose confidence. Otherwise, it's just going to kill you out here in these conditions.
3 really good saves at the 12th.
You know, that's something that Pete Dye does in his designs. He knows what those prevailing winds are. There's a nice little dig out over there that required an opportunity to get up and down.
This at 13, Ofa Hinawe, his second on the way.
Talk about a player that can flight it down. There's a little ridge right there that could take it a little further. That's perfect. That's a great place to putt from.
So KJ is going to have a look at birdie coming up at 13. Currently trails by 4, trying to get a little bit closer to Zubov on the back 9 here of the Straits. We are back at the 2025 PGA Works Collegiate Championship, brought to you by the PGA of America Reach Foundation, so all can love this game. I know those two over by the fire pit would love a little warmth on this very chilly Wednesday. Temperatures hovering around 50, the wind chills in the high 30s. We head out to 13. Ofahennawe, after that really solid approach. Just tough to get it to the hole when you're going into Lake Michigan.
Into Lake Michigan and uphill, but had a chance to make his 5th birdie of the day. Just 2 bogeys in this round, 2 under in all this wind.
All right, let's go to the tee at 12 with the junior from Western Michigan, Mega Walabaneni. Just under 100 yards for the ladies today, but that doesn't make it any easier, Doug.
I mean, you have to remember when the forecast had changed, had to make some adjustments to the setup. I think the PGA of America staff has done a phenomenal job of getting this course playable in a day like today. Took the high road, hole high. That's all you can ask for.
All right, let's go back one to the green at 11. Hanakono, that putt on the way and into the wind. We're seeing them come up short, downwind. We're seeing them race by the hole.
No, and again, the other side of this golf course, you're away from the water until you get to the 8th hole. So now a lot of these holes kind of stack up right against Lake Michigan, where the wind's really providing putts to make them very difficult.
Back at 12, Dilly Sitnon, senior from Eastern Kentucky, a runner-up 1 year ago. She was right in that mix early on.
First swing, she's aiming back to that back right hole location back there. Look at all this curvature. Like Amelia said, you can hit it on the green, that's a win.
Back to the green at 11, Mohia Mansbendel, sophomore from Kaiser University. That's down in Florida, originally from New Caledonia. 3 wins this season, including a conference championship. Was 12th at TPC Sawgrass in 2024.
So if she can hit it hard enough, I'm going to probably say that anytime something's going toward the lake. It's so hard to trust that that wind is at that ground level and slowing putts down. Not a lot of missteps today, but you see 4 bogeys and you think she's not playing very well. I beg to differ.
Perfect day to go airborne if you're a bald eagle.
Oh yeah, everything's scurrying around. You can pick up a snack real quick.
And Kono finishing up there at 11. So slow and steady, you try to win the race. And it's maybe an individual mental race, a game within a game.
Oh, it's 1,000% a game within a game. It's, can I show up on the straights course today? Or if you get out of position and you're a few over par, can I get back to, is it +8 or is it +6? I'm not sure, but whatever that player decides. And then you have that game going on as well.
Takahashi, even par, 5-shot lead over Kim. They play the 11th. And when you won this championship in '05, you had some ups and downs coming down the stretch. We'll get to that in just a bit when we return to Kohler, Wisconsin. We are back at the 11th. Hung-Ji Kim, the freshman from Delaware, third at the par 5.
It's so uphill right here. Easy to kind of back foot this shot. Misses always left when you do that. So you keep that in that fringe cut. It's just fine. Miss like that all day, it's fairly low stress.
Ahead 1 to the 12th. Dilly sitting on has this for birdie. And before we went to break, we talked about your championship in 2005. Had a big lead, couple little missteps, still saw it through to the end. But what did you tell yourself at the beginning of the day and throughout the course of the day to stay in your little bubble?
Like I said, when I got to the range is when the nerves from overnight calmed down. But I had lost a couple of shots around the middle of the round, around 8 or 9. And I just had to kind of go off on the side, talk to myself, and just say, hey, you trying to win a tournament or are you trying to lose a tournament? Because right now you've done some dumb things. It looks like you're trying to give it away. And that kind of just snapped me back into the right mindset to push back through.
Sitting on with that remaining for her par. We go to Takahashi at 11, who's kind of in a similar spot, this sandy area at 11, her 4th of Doug, a big lead, and it's starting to go the wrong way.
It's starting to go the wrong way, so she may have to start talking to herself, but a decent shot nonetheless. That's going to be uphill and into the fan coming up, but it's about 18 feet from the top side of the fairway down to the bottom of this sandy area. It is, she could not see anything from down there.
You talk about the conversations with yourself, as many golfers do have. How do you kind of stay true to it, if that makes sense? You can say something, but when it goes the wrong way, you've got questions, and maybe Zubov has that same conversation as we watch him at 13.
Well, it's okay to make mistakes. You have to accept mistakes, pre-accepting the fact that it's going to be tough on a day like today. You're going to have these moments where you kind of pace out, make a couple putts or make some birdies. So people are going to go on runs. You're going to make yourself very angry. But it's about finding that middle ground between all of that nonsense going on in that dome and just getting back to neutral. And I know you're going to ask, Burko, how do you get back to neutral? I used to count my steps. I would just count.
All right, you can get back to 11 here. Danica Lundgren, also from Nebraska, just a freshman, her 4th.
Straight downhill's a little knob that she caught that really helped that out. Superb.
So Lundgren, chance to save her par, was a 2018 drive chip and putt national finalist at Augusta. Make that 7 years ago. Finished tied for 4th in that girls division, the 10 and 11-year-olds.
Dude, 2018 doesn't feel that long ago.
Almost half a life ago for Danica.
I mean, most of the damage in her championship has been here today and all in the last 3 holes, or excuse me, the last 6 holes.
Keep it here at 11. Kim off the green, her 4th.
A little spicy on her. It's got to settle. There's a kind of a false front right there. Uh-oh. Okay, fortunate. There's a lot of shots around this golf course. One, you don't practice. You add in 50 degrees, championship on the line, and 30-mile-an-hour worth of fan. Simple shots become a lot harder.
Go from the green at 11, tee at 12. Hannah Kono set to go. And like many before, you just back off, step off, and we talk about commitment and patience. When do you finally have to just go in there and hit a golf shot?
When you're ready, honestly. When you are ready.
But to play the devil's advocate, when the wind is not going to stop blowing, there has to come a time where you not rush it, but you've got to go.
No, the one thing is it's the gusts. If you catch a gust, you want to kind of step off. But if it's just staying fairly consistent, you can get right in, hit yourself a shot, find the surface like Kono did there, anywhere on the surface. That's going to be one of the slowest putts she's had all week.
Head back over to 11. Hung-Ji Kim, her 5th from just off the green.
just a freshman, but showing the moxie of a senior. The way she's kind of held this day and this championship together.
Yeah, she's the closest pursuer to Takahashi, currently 5 behind, but a lot of golf to be played.
Oh, there was the par effort. Just, well, she has adjusted well, knowing that the uphill putt, a little fan off the right, that was a great roll. I don't see a lot of players, Burko, really going through their wind routine as it relates to getting wider with the putts. It looks like everybody's just staying kind of with what they do. It's not something you have to do, but something you can do. Get wider, choke down.
Keep it here at 11. Takahashi, what a 5 this would be.
That one had her hopes up. Yeah, but that lead starting to shrink. Getting tighter.
Yeah, but Kim's going to give at least one back as well, so there'll be no differential between the top two. As we head over to 13 and we see the lie of a refund.
Well, Refund's actually pretty happy that this ball didn't go in the gorse bush just in front of him. We thought it was in it and then found out that it was over. This is a very tricky shot. I like something that finishes left of this flag. You use more space in the green.
Looks like he has a good lie, though. I think all things considered, that was a phenomenal effort from up top, down fan.
Back at 11, Hung-Ji Kim for bogey. That slides by and still not in.
She decided on that putt from just off the green down in front. She was going to stay aggressive with the rock, and yeah, she's going to feel that sting right there.
See the waves crashing into the western shore of Whistling Straits. That is Lake Michigan, and that has a huge impact on how this golf course plays, especially those holes that run right along the water.
Feels like a completely different golf course. They were just here 2 days ago. The conditions were same temperature, Amelia, but the breeze makes this place, again, it's called Whistling Straits for a reason. Breeze makes this place feel impossible.
Oh, the breeze is every bit of this challenge today on this golf course. You add in the undulated greens. It gets very tricky to get this ball close to the hole, whether you're on the green or in the fairway or somewhere else. This putt here for Malik is going to be coming up and over a ridge, breaking to the right. Lag putting is so important on a day like today because the nervy 5-footers are so difficult, just given how hard it is to read putts correctly in this wind.
You talked about the GPAs of some of these kids as we watch Malik. 3.5. Winning the Academic Achievement Award for Long Island University men's golf. Those are the things that, for me and so many others, equally as impressive. We know they can get the job done on the course. He was second team all-conference a year ago. But when you kind of know that they are the complete package, it's exciting for all of us to see. Back at 11, Hung-Ji Kim for double bogey.
And those are the students you want to be a part of your program, the ones that get it done in the classroom and on the course. Not a lot of stress coming off the hole there. Still a smile.
All right, let's go back to 13 with Zubov.
Zubov took a really close look at the birdie putt of Taimur Malik. Didn't give him a whole lot of a read there because he left it about 4 feet short. I don't see a ton of movement. It looks like it wants to go a little bit to the right and maybe come back to the hole. Yeah, putting straight into the wind here is going to have to give this a hard hit.
I'm surprised he didn't completely reset. He reset his hat, but not his positioning. So you're listening to the wind blow, Amelia, and you can confirm or deny. It seemed like the wind had just laid down a tick right when he hit that.
Yeah, just a little bit too, and that's also the overcompensation. You want to hit the putt harder, but if you increase your grip pressure and you more hit at it rather than take more swing, that's how you hit it past.
Keep it right here with the other Delaware Blue Hen in this group. Arsit Arifun, two-time conference golfer of the week earlier in this past season, also part of the Thai national golf team.
Oh, this would be some up and down from over the green.
Still under par on this round. And that'll take him back to even par, 4 birdies to pair with 4 bogeys.
And at the moment, 4 behind Zubov. Igor still a couple of feet remaining. The fact, as you said, he was under par at the start of that hole. You only see 2 scores on the men's individual side under par, and you're going to be hard pressed to take it under 70.
Okay, Jason, still off-hanging guy. We're still working on an under par round, just 2 bogeys in that round. But
all right, here's Malik for bogey.
It's so important with these short putts just to trust your process. That's all you can control.
Oh, hit his spot.
That was just brutal.
This hole is so exposed along that shoreline, coming straight downhill on the approach.
Keep it here with Zubov. A little work remaining for his par. Do you get any sense of frustration, Emil? You've been watching this group for over an hour now of just how challenging it is. Has it impacted them, at least on the outside?
I haven't seen any frustration. If anything, they've been chatting with each other, Zubov and Arifun, as teammates. That was an excellent par save, a deserving fist bump. If anything, they've just been laughing at how crazy the wind is.
As we said on the top of the show, everyone has to deal with it. A great par at 13 for Igor Zubov. He remains at 7 under. He's got a 4-shot lead, 5 holes to go as we take a look at those individual leaderboards brought to you by Kohler. Back at Whistling Straits, we take a look at the men's Division I team leaderboard. They're finishing up on the final few holes. It's brought to you by Chase Sapphire. Arkansas Pine Bluff, a big lead over North Carolina A&T. And the Golden Lions playing in this championship for the very first time, and it appears they're on the way to going 1-1. Right? You show up once, you win once, led in large part by Jose Berenguel. We watched at 16. He's 7 under for the week, on his way to winning medalist honors in the team competition that has no tie-in to the individuals that we're showing. So a lot of moving parts, but big credit to Arkansas Pine Bluff, Roger Totten, their head coach, a 5-time SWAC Coach of the Year. They've won 3 times this season. Looks like we can pencil in win number 4, Doug, and the biggest of them all.
Yeah, the only time they really didn't win anything was that SWAC championship. But I talked to Coach Mike Rice from Florida A&M. He said they put up a charge and had it tied up going into the back 9 of that championship, able to fend them off, the Rattlers, that is.
All right, let's go to 12. Final group of ladies getting ready to go. This is going to be Miyu Takahashi, the individual leader for the women. You see it right there, a 6-shot advantage.
A little insurance to play with, but
my apologies. It is Lundgren, her Nebraska teammate, getting ready to go.
How about the wind just laying off of this shot? That's only 5 feet of curve. We saw hundreds of feet of curves a few moments ago. The men came through, but that is going to be a challenge.
Keep it here at 12. Hung-Ji Kim, the Delaware Blue Hen, one of the 2 that are 6 back. We talked about the game within the game. Doug, she's not out of it. Maybe the mental thought of play the next 7 holes, even par, and see if that gets me close.
I love that mindset. I used to try to divide the holes up into little 3-hole battles. 1 through 3 was can I get there even? Can I play the next one a couple under par? There's another one out that the wind is just laying off of. We saw it bounce, so that's the good sign.
Kind of like tried to bring that one in a little bit lower than some of the others. All right, this now, Miyu Takahashi.
I expect for her to be left of this flag, seeing 2 balls, your playing partner's win, just leaving it alone. And you have to say to yourself, well, let me just aim at the flag, because they are potentially on that uphill slope down by the sandy area. I'll just hit it higher. Unfortunate bounce, that little sideboard there, that back left corner. Past the hole's a good spot.
We go back over to 16. Jose Berenguel, the sophomore for the Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions. This for birdie.
I wouldn't even be surprised if he dropped it.
Yeah, 4 top 5s coming into this week. It's going to be 5 and likely to end up with the medalist honor as well in leading his program to a national championship.
I count medalist honors as a win too. He's going to come out of here as the national champion of the PGA Works Collegiate. He holds on. He's still got a couple holes.
Feeling good with an 11-shot lead.
Lead feels a little insurmountable. 2 holes to play. Signature pinch nerve par 3.
All right, let's get over to 13. Dilly sitting on, the senior from Eastern Kentucky. She's got this for birdie. We referenced earlier a runner-up in this championship 1 year ago. When she's not working on her game, working on getting her pilot's license.
She's Maverick McNeely. See if she can fly herself to championships if she so chooses. Gotta pursue that next level. But it's gonna push left to right early, and that wind will grab it, straighten it out at the hole. She read it perfectly. Just didn't give it that extra oomph. Hard to do on a day like today, where
a lot of variables come into play.
Well, Amelia talked about it. Lag putting so important on a day like today. You're going to have a tough time getting the ball close to the hole location. So having 30 feet, 40 feet all day, that's really a good place to hit shots from.
Danica Lundgren, she's down there at 12. I can assure you, the golf ball proves it. And there she is popping up the that big ridge.
And that will feed away down fan. It's easterly wind today, coming out of the east.
What do you think the comfort level is for Danica, but maybe more importantly, you, and we'll get back to that in just a moment, because the same scenario, Amelia, is here, and you touched on it. You've got a teammate. Egor Zubov can look and see Arsit Arifun saying, we do this all the time, maybe not in these conditions, but that has to be a comforting thought that there's a familiar face on a really big stage.
It's certainly comforting. It just feels like another college tournament where you're fortunate enough to have your teammates be some of the best in the field. I love the decision for Egor Zubov laying up here. The other two players in his group hit driver, and it's unclear where their ball finished up, but much more of the riskier play. Now just has 106 yards. Pretty friendly hole location right in the middle of this green. There's a little slope just short of the flag that can kick this ball forward. It is downwind, so now you got to be mindful of that big bounce.
He got a small bounce, a little release there. Feels like a qualifying round out here for the Blue Hens.
And here's another Blue Hen, Hunji Kim, over on the women's side, second at 12.
You see that big bounce off that sideboard.
Oh, yes, Hunji Kim. How about that?
That's how you bounce back. Go ahead and pitch in.
Up at 15, KJ Ofahinawe, his second. He's 2 under.
Player that can throw it up, play it low. Just out wide on that right side. Again, you're going to see a lot of balls on the side that the wind is blowing. Just players hard to aim way left. Give it enough room with this breeze. You can't even call it breeze. This is just wind.
See if Takahashi can follow suit at the 12th.
It looked like she had the best lie, but able to get some on it, get 2.
So she's going to be able to save her par, remain at 1 over. The chip-in birdie at the 12th by Kim. Now 6 over, 5 back, trying to make a late charge. Can she do it? We'll find out when we come back to Whistling Straits. Championship Wednesday continues from Kohler, Wisconsin. We are back at Whistling Straits for the PGA Works Collegiate Championship, brought to you by Kohler. And it has gotten a little colder here on this final day. Temperatures hovering around 50 degrees, but the wind is howling. Gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour, so a challenge for everyone coming down the stretch as we pick up Egor Zubov, getting ready for this birdie putt at 14.
Just a couple feet shy getting into this funnel. This will turn right as it gets towards the hole.
Good read there, Amelia. Burkle, can you recall a day so windy in college golf?
There's been a few. This will rank up there. Jules DeRue at 17 will follow his tee shot with Tracer Technology, presented by Chase Sapphire.
Like he hit it a little heavy. Didn't. Again, 3 balls right in line. That's where you have to be. I'm sure players watched our coverage yesterday and said, oh, left is not going to happen today.
DeRue, part of that Arkansas Pine Bluff team that is well on their way to capturing a national championship. We're back at 14. Zubov's going to finish this one up.
Well, just like it was smart for Zubov to lay up, I also loved the decision for Taimur Malik and Arsit Arifun to go for this green in 2. They both missed the green, but now have chances of birdie. I love that they're trying to make a charge here.
It's almost like that's part of Zubov's routine now. We see him get over the ball, back off. You think the wind might be a factor, but that's 2 or 3 holes in a row now, Doug.
Just trying to test the conditioning, making sure he can stay balanced, stay stable on that stroke. See that he's stabilized this round after that bogey at 11.
Up 1 to 15, Ofa Hinawe, long birdie putt.
This is uphill against the wind. This is going to be a hip turn in this putting stroke. There's 2 little humps that you have to contend with from that angle, and he read it perfectly.
Back at 14, putt on the way from Alec.
Himself in a good spot, about as good as you're going to get. Amelia, did you have any questions when you saw those 2 players pull out driver and try to push it up to the green?
No, I loved it. It means that they're still trying to win this golf tournament. It's definitely a riskier play. You don't really know where your ball's going to end up in this fescue, but they hit some incredible up and downs, including Arsit, whose ball did end up in the fescue and just hit a beautiful shot.
Now a refund. He's the closest pursuer to Zubov. That would have gotten to him within 3 with 4 holes to go.
You talk about Zubov, Burko, you talk about playing with the lead, laying back on a hole that he could access with the driver. I love that strategy, as Amelia described. Just doing what you got to do, keeping it easy, keeping it boring, plodding around.
Back over at 17, we saw the tee shot on the par 3 for Jules DeRue. Long birdie effort.
Start to pick up some pace, work downhill from there. Thought that would go in for him. Just stop turning late.
But the Golden Lions of Arkansas Pine Bluff inching closer to becoming a national champion right here at Whistling Straits.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to figure out how to stop it. Yeah, I guess so, because then, yeah, you know you can just hit driver. Yeah. It looked like it was just left of it, but I will let you know. Definitely just like seeing the holes and runouts and stuff for sure.
Tee at 15, Igor Zubov ready to go, iron in hand.
Again, sticking to his plan. No need to really push drivers up, but there's that cross sandy area that may contend with that ball.
Let's go to 17, Jose Berenguel from Arkansas Pine Bluff, ready to go. SWAC Freshman of the Year a season ago.
A very aggressive line, started that just left of the flag. Low stress shot now. You have to trust that wind, it's up there. We know what looms left.
So we got the action on the straights course today with 3 of the divisions, the other 2 over on the Irish course, and it is another gem.
Yeah, par 72, designed again by Pete Dye and Alice. Similar distances, but the way that course plays completely different. Creeping bent grass, but less than half of the sandy areas over there. But Mike Aschenbach, Grant Davey getting this place set up on a May afternoon. Courses are as good as they can get.
And 2 of the championships finishing up over on the Irish course on this Wednesday for the final round, the men's Division 2. And it looks like, remember when we said it when we went off the air yesterday, keep an eye on Texas A&M International. It looks like they're going to get the job done. Howard trying to make a late charge to catch North Carolina A&T over on the women's side. This is putter Vibunviri Yasukul, his 3rd at 16.
Just a par 5 that you really have to take advantage of if you can. Pushed it up greenside, but wow, straight downhill. Keeping away from the breeze.
Shots like that, you prefer more loft? You try to get it on the ground quicker?
Anytime I'm playing in wind, Burko, I want the ball on the ground as fast as possible. I go old school, start chipping with 8 irons, 9 irons around the surfaces.
And we don't see that a lot from these young up-and-coming players. Always full throttle, get it up in the air.
Scotty Scheffler loves chipping with a 60. He uses 60 pretty much everywhere.
All right, let's go to 13. Hung Ji Kim, her 2nd.
Come laid back off the tee. Medal in her hand. Oh no.
I hope it came out. It looked like it might have gotten down to the bottom, but if that plugged in one of those sandy areas, that's trouble.
And the sand is so thick.
All right, Lundgren's going to play because Takahashi has lost her tee shot. She's headed back to the tee to reload.
That one might be the same fate. Have to reload there. Such a dangerous hole. Amelia and I walked around last night. We talked about how pivotal this hole could be if you get that tee ball started up that right side.
All right, let's head back with the men's tournament leader, Igor Zubov, and that tee shot ended up just fine, Amelia. A couple paces shy of that sandy area.
Well, when you do win a tournament, you look back and there are usually a couple of holes where you get some good breaks. This was an incredible break for Zubov. If his ball landed in that sand area a couple of yards in front of him, it would have been a near impossible shot with how steep that lip is. Now he's just 110 yards and just needs to manage his landing spot.
Got a 4-shot lead coming down the stretch. 4 holes to go.
When you're in a situation like this, you tell yourself, everyone is struggling. Let me play disciplined golf. He's done a great job with that these last few holes. It is 35, 40 miles an hour downwind right now. 110 yards, you're trying to hit something 90-ish yards to the front portion of the green and just let this ball take the wind.
Shot on the way.
Just a little chippy one. Amelia said it was from 110, but I expected that right of the hole, and that is exactly where he hit that.
Malik next to go.
Another shot that he tried to force up off the tee.
Anytime you can knock it on the green, Doug, you take it and feel like it's mission accomplished. Here's Lundgren over at 13. Caught a big break just to find it and get it back on the green. Chance to save par.
Yeah, you can see that she hit that a little heavy, but had to try to take the high route just to get it up.
At 15, a refund.
This green pitches from left to right, trying to use that slope.
Hungji Kim, 3rd at 13.
And got to do all she can just to get this up. Can use that knob to her advantage. As you see it right there, that's a heck of a shot.
Might get a little bit closer with Takahashi losing her tee shot at 13, and so many connections here at the PGA Works Collegiate Championship with the coaches and the PGA America coaches here. We talked to Scooter Clark earlier this week. There's Brendan Post, Patty Post representing the Blue Hens. They've got a couple of guys in the mix, also a lady trying to win an individual championship. You can connect the dots when you come to this championship each and every year. Back at 15, Egor Zubov leads by 4, looking to extend that lead.
See how far left he's got this aiming. It comes down 2 little tiers.
So another par putt remaining of that length, Doug, that he's been relatively solid on.
Yeah, it keeps putting himself in those tough positions where he can't just tap in and keep it moving.
How about Miyu Takahashi at 13? This is her 4th. That's headed right. She lost her tee shot, had to go all the way back to the tee, and that ended up well right, possibly in Lake Michigan, and now it's all unraveling for Miyu.
You go back to our playing partner, Jun Kim. Think about how pivotal that chip in back at 12 could be.
We go back to the green at 15. This is Taimur Malik.
Malik's ball putting right on a spine. Very tricky to read this one. Almost looks like he thinks the ball moved from the wind.
That's okay if it did move. Before they changed that rule, I had a ball moved and I marked it and played from the new position. I didn't put it back and I was disqualified for an incorrect scorecard, but now that rule has, well, they've gotten rid of that rule, thank heavens.
Yeah, they'll figure that out. You can see from high above, Takahashi, not in Lake Michigan, one of the sandy areas, chops it out. That was her 5th. And we saw Hungji Kim hit a really good one from the sandy area. So this could be a 2 or 3 shot swing. And Kim started this hole just 4 back, getting a lot closer in that women's individual race. We head to 17. Berenguel for birdie from off the green.
Straight down the hill, but that's what can happen on a windswept day. If you could just hang around in that 2nd or 3rd position and the leader makes a mistake.
And we get back. Yeah, we get back to 15. A little bit of an update for us, Amelia.
Well, they're just trying to figure out if there's a rule official around, so that's the next step right here. Just wanted to make sure if Malik inflicted the ball to move by setting his putter down or if the wind moved it. Now, given the 40 miles an hour wind, I would like to consider that it was wind, but you of course want to make sure that you're making the right call.
Just trying to protect yourself and the field. Just double check.
It was always going to be a possibility that we saw scenarios like this. The course is set up wonderfully considering the weather. You know, they made the right adjustments, but you can only do so much with Mother Nature. As we go back to Takahashi at 13, getting ready for her 6th shot and still not on the green.
Just got to minimize the damage. You got to do everything you can to get this up and down. See that landing short coming down the hill. She's going to leave herself. Well, it's a good chip shot, but it's still in that range. It's kind of 50-50 on a day like today.
And now things have to be going a little bit quickly between the ears for Takahashi, who is experienced. A senior at Nebraska, led the team in scoring, had 3 top 11 finishes, won the Nebraska Women's Amateur a couple years ago. She's been in spots where it takes a little something special to get the job done. But when you make the turn with an 8-shot lead, things are changing. Let's go to 15. Birdie putt on the way for a refund.
And we saw the putt of Zubov. Knew he had to hit it a little harder. Did that. But again, this is the range where we want to see Zubov start to have those par putts. Just those low-stress opportunities to close this championship out.
That was just a moment ago, and while they're trying to get things cleared up with Malik, college golf or golf at any level, keep it going as Zubov has a big one here for his 4.
Zubov has made a couple of great par saves from this length. Really important just to make sure you hit a confident stroke in this wind. If you have any kind of tentativeness in there, it's not going to go in.
See if he backs away.
Locked in.
Going to give at least 1 back.
That's when our refund's starting to think, hold on now, I might get closer to my teammate, but we're teammates week in and week out. Today, we're competitors.
Bogey at 15 for Zubov. 4 over on the day, back to 6 under for the week. He's got a 3-shot lead as they make their way to 16.
Off of 67. Thought it might be a little easier.
How about Hung-Ji Kim at 13? What a 4 this would be. Oh, yes.
That is a huge par given the circumstances. You see that exhalation right there. Just let it breathe out right there.
Yeah, so that is a big time for Malik now with the rules official, just going through the particulars to make sure everything is status quo.
There's officially no penalty for Taimur Malik, as you could see as he was trying to put that ball correctly. It was even hard for him to move it back to where it was when he had his mark on. Now I got a good read from Arifun. Just got to hit this a little bit harder than you think.
Goes the break. Fairly low stress.
He had plenty of time to check that one out after they figured the situation was under control. So going to be a 2-putt here for Malik most likely. All right, no issues at all.
+6 though on this round. 2 doubles on the card.
How about Takahashi for triple at 13?
Things just got real.
About 90 minutes ago, she made the turn. She had an 8-shot lead. The lead is gone. Tied at the top now. Miyu Takahashi, Hung-Ji Kim, both 5 over. A lot on the line in difficult conditions on this championship Wednesday. Tee shot on the way at 14 for Miyu Takahashi, and it is time to regroup quickly, Doug.
Oh, you have to. You have to start counting your steps. doing whatever it is. Now, she's a prolific winner. She's been in positions like this before. Like you said earlier, she had won her state am back in 2023. What is it that she did then to get herself back to neutral? Because she's still in this championship.
Yeah, you're going to find a point in some round where things aren't going your way. As we move to 16, KJ Ofahinawe in with par. He keeps it at 2 under. Really good round being put together by this young man.
Given the conditioning, but a young man from Lehigh, Utah, so he knows what it's like to play at wind, but no elevation here.
Getting a little bit closer, at least on that women's individual side on this Championship Wednesday of the PGA Works Collegiate Championship, brought to you by Chase Sapphire. We thought things could turn on this demanding course, especially the back 9 holes running along the western shore of Lake Michigan. Getting a little closer for the men's individual championship as well. Igor Zubov from Delaware, 3-shot lead over his college teammate. See if he can see it through to the end. Let's go to the green at 18. Juan Melita, freshman from Chile, part of the Golden Lions team from Arkansas Pine Bluff. This for par.
Well out to the right. I've pumped this putt a few times the past couple days. Just easy to overread, and did just that. Drop a shot to end the day.
Yeah, but they know they've done the job over the last 3 days to win a national championship. How about that tournament debut? First time ever in the PGA Works Collegiate Championship. And they're going to head home with some hardware a little bit later today. You reference it. Mike Rice, the head coach at Florida A&M, he sort of tipped a lot of people off. This team is really good. Watch out for them.
You're also playing with a 5-time SWAC Coach of the Year in Roger Totten.
All right, make our way over to 16. Zubov getting ready to go, Amelia.
Zubov laid well back with an iron off the tee. 220 yards to clear the bunker that's about 60-70 yards from the fairway, well downwind. So this has got to be really careful if he's not going to go for this green and go right of this green, that you don't get through the fairway, because then you have another difficult shot.
But that fairway, some 30 yards right of that crane, you can see on that camera tower. Got to have this well out right.
He's at least trying to formulate a plan of playing the percentages with that lead.
You have to. Came in with a plan today. We've seen a couple irons off tees, executing.
All right, let's go to 14. The other co-leader for the women, Hung-Ji Kim, her second. And she's got to be wondering, all right, you know, 8 back, 9 to go. Most likely not going to happen. How do you pivot, Doug? How do you adjust when you were somebody chasing and now all of a sudden you're co-leading?
I don't think there's much adjustment at all. Now you just have a little more hope. But you can't leave it short. You got to miss that one long.
Your mindset doesn't change at all? The dynamic of, wow, I've got an opening I didn't have an hour ago?
I think when you acknowledge that the landscape has changed, that's when you can start changing the plan that you went into the day with. My attitude was, oh, they slipped up. Now I've got a chance to win. Let's stay on the course that I've been on and push through. Because I'm not the one that's reeling.
It was good enough to get you to this point. Maybe don't have to do anything special as we watch Takahashi.
Sometimes playing with no expectation really helps you in a situation like we're seeing. But what a shot.
That is how you respond after the missteps at 10 and 13 as well. There is a refund at 15 from the Sandy area.
His second shot. Trying to push it all the way up to the green.
You can see the wind continuing to whip around here at Whistling Straits, making it challenging for the men and women looking to win a national title. We're back at the 2025 PGA Works Collegiate Championship, brought to you by the PGA of America Reach Foundation, so all can love this game. And if you're a fan of the game, loving what we're seeing coming down the stretch here at Whistling Straits. A moment ago while we were in break, Hung-Ji Kim, a co-leader for the women, her third at 14.
Just a little splat and trickle down the hill. And when she's been out of position, she's gotten herself in some very good spots to contend with par.
That's 2 straight holes at 13 and 14 in the sandy area. If she can make that, those will be 2 all-world pars. As we head over to 16, Egor Zubov, 6 under. He's got a 3-shot lead.
Prime position for Zubov, just at the green side bunker. The lie, though, is a bit tricky. The ball is sitting down where it rolled in and then has stance trouble. Balance is going to be key here in playing that chunk and run.
Yeah, that was a huge swing. And still couldn't advance it to the surface.
Doug, when you were out here yesterday walking around the back nine, what is it about these sandy areas? What makes it maybe different than typical bunkers?
Well, it's the sand type, number one. It's kind of a more dense river sand, and there's a lot of sand in the bunker. So if you don't have enough bounce, that leading edge can dig, and you can hit it heavy really quickly.
For the outright lead, once again, Takahashi for birdie at 14.
It's an important putt in her round. She can get it to go.
It at least calms the nerves, settles everything down just a little bit.
Quick moment is in.
But you also have to be wondering, if you're me, what happened to the 8-shot lead.
You don't have time to think about it right now. You still got work to be done.
Back at 16 with Malik.
Similar stance, better lie. That came out way nicer.
You see that from that angle, Doug? The wind took it 10, 15 yards right.
When the wind starts to affect those short pitches and, 20, 30-yard shots, that's how you know you got to play that ball down.
All right, this is a big putt for Hung-Ji Kim to stay at 5 over par and tied at the top.
Being downhill works to her advantage. Pulled right off the blade. Face was just closed. That was one of the more tentative strokes we've seen during our telecast.
So now 6 over, 1 shot back of Takahashi.
I've never seen her hit that second shot in there. You just got to think, oh, I would have taken the lead.
But Hung-Ji Kim is hanging around despite that bogey we just saw at 14. She's right there, front and center, 4 holes to go.
And don't forget, players are utilizing Golf Genius for scoring, so they do have access to the leaderboard. They know where they stand. They know how this has gone back and forth.
They have the ability to do that, but do they actually use it, as we watch Zubov, his 4th at 16?
Zubov got a pretty good read from Arifun on this chip.
Oh, and what a shot by Egor Zubov.
That's that range for par we were just talking about. Just some low stress kick-ins. Keep it moving. Starting to see some light.
Still have to contend with 17 and 18 though.
That's such a huge lead, to see it evaporate. Some anxiety, especially with 2 players still under par for this day.
Keep it here at 16. Looks like Malik getting ready to go next.
Malik is going to give Arset Arifun a really good read, and this is a big putt for when Arifun goes, because if he were to make birdie, that would just minimize Egor Zubov's lead down to 2. Malik has to go first, putting back up the hill into the wind, up and over a little slope too. Acceleration is going to be key on this putt.
I mean, you think you get the sense that the players understand now how the wind's starting to affect these putts.
Definitely. I think every shot, though, is just a matter of how you can keep your concentration and your focus with how difficult the conditions are.
Doug and Amelia, what would you say is the most exposed areas out there? Because it's windy regardless, but is there one green or fairway perhaps that's just brutal?
It feels like the finishing stretch right here, 16, 17, just closest to the water, and then we saw 12 and 13 as well.
I was going to say, once you get to 11,
so all of
it's
them
all
coming in.
The whole back nine's exposed after 10. That's the beauty of Pete Dye, especially with a piece of property like this.
Let's go to 18, Pedro Pereira, the freshman from North Carolina A&T. Long birdie putt on the way, and that is how you finish up.
He's hit a lot of shots this week, but I tell you what, he'll leave here remembering that one moment.
Let's go to 17 with Ofa Hinawe. Not out of it yet. Needs to do something special coming in and get some help.
This is going to have to start pushing off right now. Tight rope and all. Did he get a bounce? Had no spin on it, but uphill. That stays in that tight cut. Get a putter on that. I'll tell you what, that was a brave line to take, but I understood the assignment.
Back at 16, a refund to get within 2.
The edges.
Cruel.
He's going to look back at that and say, I hit a great putt. Just hung on the line. He makes that. Egor really feels the pressure with 2 holes to play.
And you would also go to 17 with the honor and could continue to apply that pressure. Zubov hanging on to that 3-shot lead. Let's go to 18. Jules Deroux, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Short one to finish up for his bogey. And the Golden Lions getting a little bit closer to securing a national championship right here at Whistling Straits. And we hope you are enjoying our final round coverage of the PGA Works Collegiate Championship. It is brought to you by Kohler. Our thanks to the entire Kohler family and company, not only for their hospitality this week, but the commitment, Doug, they've made through 2029 to continue to grow this endeavor, which we're all committed to in one way or another.
Got to play golf with David Kohler in that partnership invitational there on Sunday of this week, and he just talked about how much he loves this championship, the partnership with the PGA of America, and how the family just wants to grow the game.
Takahashi leads by 1, second at 15.
Wide right, but again, that's a low stress green in regulation. Just plot your way into the house, and that's how you're going to keep a lot of stress off yourself.
Keep it right here. Hung-Ji Kim next to go, trailing by 1.
See that little cross sandy area? She can probably only see the top of the flagstick from where she is. Question is, can you keep this left of the flag at all? Safely aboard. That's a shot. Given the circumstances, you thought she might take a chance to really push one closest to the hole.
Let's go to 17, KJ Ofahinawe, trying to stay at 2 under.
I saw that beautiful tee shot over the back of the green. Gave himself a lot of work.
If you're KJ or others, not going to win, but great weeks, what do you learn? What do you take away from this?
Oh, it's him today, getting that, dropping one shot, getting back to even par for the day. You got to say, hey, I contended for most of this championship. Take into consideration, he was trying to make birdie here, whereas if he was playing kind of either with a lead or around the lead, you know, he could play a safer shot. So he was trying to push himself to make some birdies, and that's why he's kind of been spilling some shots. So take a lot of confidence away from a day like today.
Igor Zubov waiting on the tee at 17, and this is what awaits him.
And playing 170 today. This is the longest we've seen this whole play. And again, you see that front right mountain with that sandy area cut right in the face. Anything on that line will actually bound back to the hole location, but left is carnage. We've seen the best players in the world left. Most recently, Jordan Spieth comes to mind. Thanks, Justin Thomas. But a lot of players this week have hit balls left on this hole. And Burko, we've seen pars from down there, and we've seen 8s from down there.
Igor Zubov would like to make a 3, Amelia.
Oh, he sure would, and it's actually an advantage for Zubov, the fact that he's not going first. His teammate, Arsit, will have to go first. This is such a difficult hole location with the wind howling out of the left. I would not be surprised if we see 3 golf balls bail out to the right. In order to hit this anywhere close to the flag, you have to aim left of the green.
We talked about it yesterday when we walked through here, Amelia, that back hole location, you have to land it off some, I don't know, 15 paces just to get it to pitch back.
100%. This is starting at the flag and holding its line nicely.
There's the spot that we were talking about. Didn't chase out like I had thought.
Really good one by Arifun. All right, let's head up to the last, the green at 18, to watch Beringel trying to close with birdie. And what a week it has been for him and the entire Arkansas Pine Bluff team.
Come in here for the first time, leave with the hardware. They'll be back next year, potentially with some heat trying to defend.
All right, let's see if Zubov can follow his teammate at 17.
Widest part of the fairways, green is 160. Sounded a little junky.
A lot out of that to hit that a little heavy, but safely aboard. It's part 1.
right, let's go to the green at 15. Hung-Ji Kim has this for birdie.
And outside of where she wanted to be, but trying to, has to give this a go. Into the wind, help it hang on that left to right breaking putt.
Of attrition there. We get back to 18 with Jose Beringale looking to finish this one up. He will win medalist honors for those playing in the team component of this championship. Not to get that confused with the individual race that we have been following, but more importantly for Jose, when this goes, the Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions will be national champions at Whistling Straits. Their very first appearance in the PGA Works Collegiate Championship, and no one beat them. How about that?
And Jose leading the way with 7 under par performance, 2 over on this round. The whole team did exactly what they needed to do. They came in and got it done. Congratulations.
And impressively, a 32-shot win. Once they finalize those scores. That's getting the job done on the Irish and Straits courses right here at Whistling Straits. Let's go back to Miyu Takahashi. Long birdie putt at 15.
Not as long as it gets on this screen.
Doug, you need to give her a lot. We all need to give her a lot of credit. After the 8, it's 13. The lead was gone, and to settle in back at 14 and 15, hit quality shots. Still golf to be played, but it says a lot.
Yeah, we talked about the value of old man par. Got out of position off the tee, made a big number, but was able to steady the ship, make a couple pars in the last 2.
Arkansas Pine Bluff, they are national champions in the men's Division I. Congratulations to them. They're headed home with some hardware. We'll get down to that a little bit later on in the show, but still individual races up for grabs for the men and the women. A look at the leaderboards brought to you by Kohler. They're coming down the stretch here on a Championship Wednesday.
Tracer Y, women's. Okay.
I'm doing some high knees, guys, to stay warm. Oh, that would be elite. Yeah, I'll take an iced coffee.
We're back to the green at 17. Final group of the men's individual competition winding down here on this Wednesday at Whistling Straits. Igor Zubov, a senior at Delaware, has a 3-shot lead, and this for birdie right here at the par 3 17th.
Zubov got an excellent read from Taimur Malik. This ball broke hard to the left and stayed out there. Taimur has about a 10-footer for par, so it gets very quick coming down this hill.
Came back late. That's what we saw in that initial read. Great speed.
Yeah, that is really well done by Zubov. Let's go to 16 on the tee. Hungji Kim here at the par 5.
We have to hit her best drive of the day. She hopes to gain that stroke back.
That is a good one there by Kim. Let you know that Zubov did tap in for his par at 17. Now Takahashi less than driver.
Interesting play. We saw her do this yesterday as well. Gonna play to the wide part of the fairway on these Pete Dye designs.
Just hangs in there as we go to 17. A refund for birdie to get within 2.
Tell you, when he made that stroke, I thought that came off with a lot of pace, but great judge of speed.
And time might be running out for Arsit. 3 back. That little one remaining for par as they will head to 18 in just a moment. Keep it here though. Taimur Malik. See if he can make his 3.
It was just a huge advantage for Igor to be able to see how quickly this came down. Now Malik has to battle for his par. This will turn left at the hole. The biggest challenge here is just managing how putt's going to move with this wind straight down from his line.
Got frisky on that initial putt. Paid the price.
Still inside the top 5 is Malik, currently solo 4th. Now a refund, short one for par. Stay 3 back of his college teammate. And as we've seen with Takahashi and the women, still not done. Things could come into play here.
Well, I'll tell you what, that 18th hole playing straight downwind, going to provide now some ambiguity off the tee, but we'll see how these players fare coming up.
What a great week it has been to this point at Whistling Straits for the PGA Works Collegiate Championship. 5 different champions going to be crowned on this afternoon into the early evening potentially here. About 60 miles north of Milwaukee, and one of the great golfing destinations in the entire country. You come to Whistling Straits, you know you're going to buckle up and have a little bit of fun as we head to the green at 16. Mia Raines, the freshman from Northern Illinois. That was for birdie.
Yeah, we've seen some very unkind edges today. Not a lot of balls being caught, just spinning balls out. Just a tough day to score here on the Straits course.
Keep it here at 16, and we talk about the great week at Whistling Straits, TPC Sawgrass last year, Shoal Creek 2 years ago. How have these championship venues elevated this event?
Well, we've actually seen players, one, be excited about playing, but then they go in through their preparation process and they prepare a little different. They prepare a little harder. But when you're playing on these championship courses, it's showing you a lot about the state of your game, so the freshmen and sophomores know what to work on as they continue their college careers.
And that is Mohia Mansbendel, sophomore, Kaiser University down there in Florida. 12th a year ago, looking to improve on that in 2025. Currently in a tie for 3rd, so I think she will improve greatly and maybe a little bit closer a championship in the offing next year for Mohia. All right, let's go to the green at 18. Here's the great name of the week, putter Thibunviri Yasukul for par. You got to be a golfer with a nickname like that, don't you?
Your name is Putter, and you got to roll it too.
His nickname, though, we want to be front and center about that.
Well, if they call you Putter, you better wand it. Able to get that in. All the damage in the championship done on this day today. 3 over 4.
And this is Manuel Barbachano from George Washington finishing up as well. Got to play alongside his college teammate, Rodrigo Barahona. What a week for both those young men from George Washington. It's a proud coach, too. Anytime you can say, you know what, had a couple of guys in the mix, shows you're doing the right things.
Yeah. Big shout out as well to Tokes Pedro, their assistant coach at G-Dub, played on that APGA tour after his collegiate career.
All right, let's head to 16. Danica Lundgren, her 4th here at the par 5. You can see her 10 over, currently sharing that tie for 3rd.
I'll tell you what, for the folks watching at home, looking at a 10 over score with anything negative to say, you got to chill out. This course is tough today.
Oh, it's tough all week.
All week. I mean, this is not an easy place to get it done, but today especially, this is one of the most difficult courses and days I've ever seen.
On the way at 18, second for Ofa Hinawe.
Found the surface, got a big bounce right in the heart of the green. Got this 4-leaf clover green right in the middle, KJ.
All right, let's go back to 16. Takahashi leads by 1, this her 3rd.
Have to have this out left of the hole. You can see she's aiming between the left edge and the flag. Tentative on the distance control, but that's fine. Just fine. A little hope in her eyes.
Back at 18, Logan Vargas, his 2nd, the junior from the University of Texas, San Antonio. Originally from Lubbock, so he can handle the wind.
Oh, he knows all about days like today.
Oh,
but
that right foot, you see that? Slip?
Yeah, slip came right out. Usually that makes the ball go left, but all things considered, it's a great shot. Fight for balance as we take another look. You see that right foot slip on the transition. You close the face to try to keep your balance.
Tip of the cap, though.
Yeah.
All in all, he had a really good shot when the result could have been far worse. All right, here's Hung-Ji Kim at 16, getting ready for her 3rd. Currently a shot behind Miyu Takahashi in the women's individual race. She was 8 back, making the turn. 4 holes later, she caught the leader and gave one back with a bogey at 15. Not sure she would get a better look at birdie coming in on these final 3 than right here if she can get up and down.
Yeah, tough shot. You see that little knob right on that right side where that green starts, going to bounce this left. You can see she's got a little bit of a down lie. So spin, not really an option here. Going to have to trundle this forward. Land it right on that fringe cut just right of the hole.
Might have carried it about a pace or two too far as that ended up on the green and finally over. All right, let's go to the tee at 18. 1 hole remaining for these men in the individual race as we take a look at Arsit Arifun, and we'll follow his tee shot with Top Tracer technology presented by Chase Sapphire.
Run out is 240. Want to hit about a 200-yard shot to play for the downwind and that run out.
Oh, but that caught the last sandy area up the left. That's going to be all the way in the face.
It actually got through the sandy area and just shy of getting through the fairway. So got lucky there, Doug.
Well, that could be an enormous break. And Igor Zubov wouldn't know and probably doesn't need to know as he has a 3-shot lead and also with iron, Amelia.
Yeah, this is just one of those shots you're really trying to dial in your target. There's a chimney out there on the right side of the fairway. That's a perfect line. And then if your ball catches that slope to the left, just a bonus.
Working it toward that chimney.
Position A.
That's unbelievable. Trying to judge that run out downhill, down fan.
It is so hard to do. These players are mentally exhausted right now. They've been playing through 35, 40 miles an hour wind all day for the last few hours. So to be able to still make good decisions on the 18th hole is truly remarkable.
Now Malik.
Can't tell if he hates it or loves it.
Whoa.
Tell you what, he'll appreciate where that ends up. And oh, there's that ball Amelia was talking about. Did come out. Wow. That is fortunate, and that's the angle that you want with this back right hole location.
A lot still to be decided potentially for the men. We go back to the women at 16. Kim, her 4th, just over the green, putter in hand.
Yeah, needs to be. This is going to be quick. Even though it's uphill, straight downwind. So given the moment, you have to hit this hard, try to make it. Yeah, easy to run it by, but not the worst. Gave herself a chance.
And you said something interesting there. You're 1 back, you want to make up ground, but are you truly trying to make that, as it appeared she did, because now she's got 4 or 5 feet coming back?
It's just a roll of the dice right there. Maybe you find the right line, the right speed. At worst case, it hits the pin, bounces in. I do appreciate that she left that in on that uphill effort, just in case.
Now Miyu Takahashi for birdie here at 16 to extend her lead to 2.
Now inversely, this one is downhill, but back into the wind, so it'll play more level.
Really good effort.
A lot of fight in this round for Miyu. That 4 holes ago, put it behind her, steadied the ship, had 3 straight pars and 3 straight big pars. When things got tied, Burko able to scratch out some pars.
We watched Lundgren, her Nebraska teammate, this for bogey. And you bring up something interesting when we discussed Hung-Ji Kim a short time ago. Stick to your plan. It is the person you're chasing opening the door. Nice putt there by Lundgren. Takahashi probably should use that same thought process of make her do something. Don't let me continue to give her a chance.
Yeah, control what you can control. Stay in the bubble that you've created for yourself. Plenty of mistakes around every corner out here, but you also have to say, if you're me, I've already made the mistake I'm making today.
All right, let's go to the green at 18. KJ Ofahinawe trying to finish up with birdie.
Well, you talked about what all he can take away from a good week. 2 putts away from an under par performance on a legendary championship track and some of the toughest conditions you can find. I just forgot that it was uphill. It's that simple.
Great family lineage in sports. Dad played football at BYU. Mom played golf at BYU. His cousin, Tony Finau, multiple PGA Tour winner. Big par putt for Hung-Ji Kim here at 16.
She wants to have a chance. That had to go.
You do all the work to make up the ground and you get some help along the way, and then sometimes you just sort of plateau, unable to take an outright lead. Now she's going to be a couple back heading to 17.
I point to that, her third shot here. That's the one that got away from her. Really put her in a spot behind the 8 ball. Had to try to force a birdie from that back edge.
2-putt par for Takahashi, so she has settled in nicely with 3 consecutive pars after the 7 at 10 and the 8 on 13. Her lead is 2 with 2 to play. But still needs to hit some good quality shots here over the next 20 minutes or so. All right, back to the green at 18. Ofahinawe to finish up with his 4.
Yeah, very good putter, very solid putter. Came up short, unfortunately. You want to emulate a putting stroke, that guy right there. That's the one to copy and paste.
How about those 3 rounds and the 72 today in particular?
I'm more impressed with to shoot a score, to shoot par on a day like today. You have to vary your shapes, vary your trajectories. You got to play with some highs and some lows, mostly lows. To watch KJ starting to become the player that we all believe he can be. Great showing this week.
A little wink, wry smile. He knows job well done today. Great look down at 18, where we're going to find Igor Zubov, Tamor Malik, and Arsit Arifun getting ready to hit their seconds.
For Igor Zubov, breathing is so important. You got a 3-shot lead. Need to put this on the green to settle those nerves. Back right hole location, downwind off the right. Going to be really hard to take a direct line to this flag. 185 yards. I like something that finishes just left, giving you some more space to work with.
Just left of center, and that is plenty of space.
That's a very disciplined golf shot. Didn't look like he was going at that flag at all.
Yeah, even from that angle, Amelia, this tough flag to fire at. You've got that knob.
Yeah, now he knows it's going to be tough to lose as we watch Malik.
Much easier angle, taking a direct line. A couple slopes to navigate here.
Just misjudged the wind. Half club short.
This left side of the fairway, such an advantage. Just 152 yards for Arifun compared to 185 for Zubov.
Such a balanced, low-stress golf swing. What a Move.
Good one by Arcid Arifun, but looks like his college teammate, Egor Zubov, the man, getting a little bit closer to winning that men's individual championship as we take a look at the leaderboard. Brought to you by Chase Sapphire. Takahashi for the women, a 2-shot lead as they head to 17. And we are back on the final green here at Whistling Straits, the Straits course. Championship Wednesday continues at the PGA Works Collegiate, wrapping up the men's individual division. 5 champs going to be crowned in a short time from now. Egor Zubov, the senior from Delaware, he has a 3-shot lead over his college teammate Arcid Arifun. And Amelia, these are the stages everyone puts in all that hard work for to try to get to the finish line, and Zubov is on the cusp of doing just that.
Oh, it's been so impressive to watch Zubov down the stretch, not only in the course management, last few holes off the tee, he's been taking irons, being very disciplined. It's also those times when you do feel nervous, you tell yourself, this is why I'm here. This is why I prepare. You show up to win, not finish in the middle of the pack, and he's handled himself just beautifully. This is just one more putt where he needs to have good speed, another strength of his. Today, head coach at University of Delaware, Brendan Post, said it's the putting that's really clicked for him in his senior year, and as a result, he's been able to play just really solid all season and be in contention this week.
Zubov, a great player, gets the job done in the classroom as well. A 4.0 GPA, graduated in the top 10 of his class in high school. The Cobalt Golf All-American Scholar a season ago. He checks every single box as he's moments away from winning. But before that, we get to Malik.
Very slow up this hill.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Amelia should have let him know before he did it. You can't do it. I'm just saying that came off. That ridge there on the right just didn't hit it at all.
All right, back at 17, Miyu Takahashi on the tee with a 2-shot lead.
I'd expect this to be anywhere right of the flag. She landed that in an optimal spot.
How good is that by Takahashi?
She's a winner. She's won before. Channeled some of that energy. Almost smiled after that.
Work still to be done as we go to Zubov, looking to finish it up here at the last.
The last 20 feet of this putt coming up and over a ridge, breaking to the right at the hole.
He talked about his lag putting, and no better time to do it like that here at the last.
What was it like, Doug, when you won this championship 20 years ago? Similar spot from Zubov from the standpoint comfortable. You know you've got the job done. I'll get back to that in a minute as we watch Kim on the tee at 17.
See, she's just getting the sense that that wasn't the line I had intended. But, you know, when you come down the stretch and you do have a lead, you know that you have a little insurance. You can spill the tee if you will, but, you know, you hit a shot, it finds the fairway on the 18th, and it's at that moment that you really start to feel like, okay, this is my turn, if you will. But you quickly have to reset, get it on the green. Once you get it on the green, that's when you start knowing that, hey, I've got this done. I've accomplished this win.
Refunds, putt on the way, still work to do. What were those emotions like for you with your multiple shot lead, playing 18, and you're still a kid at that point?
Yeah.
The mind has to wander what's going on upstairs.
You know, looking back, like over it, there was knowing what the tournament had meant and all the people that had started this championship back at Highland Park, and my dad had taken me to Highland back in the late 90s, so I had seen where this tournament had been, and to be at PGA Village, to etch my name, you know, be talked about, you know, those things were very emotional coming through the stretch, and I'm still thankful to this day we got it done. As Malik trying to save par, will drop a shot at the last.
But we'll keep him in solo fourth. Bit of a struggle today, 8 over 80. But those first two rounds got him in a position to contend today.
I mean, think about it like this. 70 here earlier this week, 80 today. Wind just wreaking havoc on the scoring. But you woke up today, Burko. That's what you expected.
Now a refund for par and clear the stage for Zubov.
And if our refund is able to make this, would tie the low round of the day in the men's individual portion with KJ Ofahinawe at even par.
And he does. Quick glance just purely on the men's individual side. You're going to probably be looking at a scoring average around 76, 77. So to shoot even par today, how about that? 3 rounds of par or better. Well done. Now the stage is set for Igor Zubov. And the Delaware Blue Hen stands proudly at Whistling Straits. Igor Zubov, a national champion. To do it is one thing. The hug from his college teammate Arcid, a refund, shows you how much this day, this week meant to both of them.
I remember being in that same position with a putt to win, and I don't remember how far it was. I just remember my hands shaking and then just blacking out. A lot of thank yous and congratulations to that man, the Blue Hen, Igor Zubov.
6 under total, good enough to get the job done for Zubov here in 2025. We know who's won the men's individual race. The women's still yet to be determined as we head to the green at 17. Takahashi with that 2-shot lead over Hungji Kim. And if Kim is going to try to make things a little more interesting, the 2 would go a long way, especially with Takahashi inside of 20 feet. This is anything but a really good look at birdie.
This is a long cross-country attempt from some 40, 45 feet. Let's see how downhill this is. It'll push off the right. And I'll try to work back the other direction as it loses pace and the wind starts to hit it. There's no hiding from the breeze. Here at this exposed 17. She gave it the speed it needed.
And then some.
I love the fight. She's putting up the fight.
Yeah, looking to make it a clean sweep for the Blue Hens. Hung-Ji Kim, a freshman at Delaware. It appears she'll fall just a bit short, but a heck of a rally. The door was opened by Takahashi. Kim took advantage, but Miyu with pars on 14, 15, and 16 to get that lead back. It's currently 2. Looking to make it 3 with a birdie right here.
Get the feeling if she makes this, the door just shut on Kim. Uh-oh. That is outside that 3-foot circle.
I'm not sure that book's going to tell you anything right now. That might just be a situational result. Doug, you just said when you were trying to win, your hands were shaking.
Couldn't feel it. Talk about 53 degrees with the wind chill from 30. Has it feeling like probably 41, 42 degrees.
Nice putt there by Lundgren, saving par at 17.
There are moments in championships where you're just like, get me to the house.
How do you do it, though? You want to finish up and race, but if you're Lundgren watching your teammate, you're watching Hung-Ji Kim catch her when she was 8 back, how do you stay in the process when there's so much on the line? And keep in mind, they're still young adults. Some of them just teenagers.
Well, it's like Kobe Bryant said, you got to make practice hard and the game's easy. The harder you work, you get in these moments, it's a little easier than other players may think it is.
Well, if Kim has any hope, this needs to go.
Has to fall.
It did. So she will remain 7 over and maybe makes that par putt for Takahashi upcoming a little more nervy.
Yeah, because she's going to need some help. She's not going to get it here.
That was struck with authority. Great par by Miyu Takahashi, 4 in a row. She's 5 over, a 2-shot lead, heading to the 18th at Whistling Straits with a national championship on the line. Today's coverage of the PGA Works Collegiate Championship is brought to you by Kohler, helping people live gracious, healthy, and sustainable lives. And by Chase Sapphire, upgrade your travel and dining experiences with Chase Sapphire. few courses, groups remaining on the course. That is here at Whistling Straits, over on the Irish, and here on the other golf course, the Straits National Championship, still to be determined. We know a couple that are going to leave with some trophies in hand, Amelia, but it has been a challenge with the weather, this golf course, and everything that's on the line with it.
A test of grit today, 100% for these players, especially Miyu Takahashi, who had an 8-shot lead starting this day and has really had to battle. Now it's just down to 2.
This is Dilly sitting on, having some issues in that sandy area. That was her 3rd attempt to get out of there. So it just goes to show you, even though Miyu Takahashi has a 2-shot lead, wrong spot, big trouble, and she found it on 10 and 13 as well.
That's really the trickiest part about the Straits course. If you miss it in the wrong spot, you can take a big number quickly.
All right, playing alongside sitting on, you have Sienna Harder and Mega Walla Abene.
Hitting this bunker shot back into the wind is going to get this ball to sit quickly, but she's going to have to elevate this one very fast.
And this is Wallab Anani. See what she can do from here. This is her 4th at 18.
Yeah, I want to open that club face a little bit wider to get enough loft on it. It's going to have to swing with a lot of pace, too. That was really well done with the lip, all the wind, the difficulty of the sand.
And you will see some bunkers in those sandy areas. It's the golf etiquette. You never know who's coming behind you. Want to give them a fair shake if they end up in it.
Yeah, you also don't want karma to hit you another tournament.
Those are old school, heavy looking rigs, aren't they?
They sure are, and they make some nice forks in those sandy areas.
All right, Sienna Harder, 3rd member of this group. She's going to have that ball marked just to keep it on the up and up.
And needing to chip this, elevating this one over the lip, going to be very difficult off an extremely tight lie. Got to make sure you hit good contact.
So we see this group on the green, the group behind them in the fairway, the leaders on 18T. I would assume the last thing you want to do if you're Miyu Takahashi is to stand there and think about it for the next 10 minutes.
Yes. Thinking is the most difficult part about trying to close out a golf tournament. Golf is already a slower paced sport where the mental side is so big. If I'm Miyu Takahashi right now, I'm taking some deep breaths. Also, just having little conversation that here and there, anything to get you out of what you can do, which is win this national championship.
And how much is it an advantage for Takahashi to have a college teammate playing alongside her today?
Huge advantage. When you have someone you're playing that you're comfortable with, it's everything when it comes to calming your nerves in a big moment like this.
Because you can see those two, they're smiling, they're laughing, and not that they're excluding Hungji Kim, but it's like, you can stand over there and we're going to go over here.
Well, Hungji didn't look like she wanted to be interested in the conversation either. She's trying to win this golf tournament.
All right, this is sitting on, finishing up here at the last.
This will turn to the right at the hole. Want to make sure you give this enough pace. This is slow coming up this hill. Gave it a good run.
What are the biggest differences, these greens on a league-style course, conditions like this? What's the biggest adjustment? Because they don't normally find surfaces like this very often.
The biggest adjustment is really the difficulty in getting to the green, managing the wind, figuring out your landing spot. There's a ton of undulation in the green. Then once you get to the green, it's just figuring out how to read the putt with all of this wind.
Seeing a harder. A little bold with that effort.
Very bold. You're going to have to put a coin on that one. It's these putts inside of 5 feet that have been so tricky for the players today. When you have gusts up to almost 40 miles an hour, to keep your balance even over a 5-footer is so difficult.
And now Wallop Anani, proudly representing Western Michigan. You can see it front and center on her sweatshirt.
Well, this would be one heck of a bogey after being in that greenside sandy area. Especially today, there are a lot of good bogeys out there on the golf course. Oh, just didn't hit it. Tentative stroke.
Still a great week. A lot to be proud of to get to this point, this championship, as it's time now to take a look at the bowl play, or plays of the day for that matter, presented by Kohler. And what a day it was for Arkansas Pine Bluff, the Golden Lions, playing in this championship for the very first time. That was Jose Berenguel at 16. He made that for birdie. When you've got a big lead, you're just trying to keep things in front of you, as Juan Melita was trying to do this on 18. Oh, almost curled it in, but Amelia, probably no better feeling than knowing, you know what, we've done the job. The hard work from September to May has paid off, and you get to go home and forever call yourself a national champion, as Berenguel finishes it up at the last.
I always found when I was leading with Wake Forest as a team rather than individually, I wasn't nearly as nervous. I was just excited to just have all the energy go our way, and what a charge from Arkansas Pine Bluff.
31-shot victory over North Carolina A&T. Very impressive play, to say the least. Take a look at some of the others in the field this week for the men's Division I team. Prairie View A&M, Texas Southern, and Chicago State rounding out the top 5. A happy group from Arkansas Pine Bluff, as we send it down to Doug Smith.
Thanks so much, Steve. Here with, well, some very happy guys from Arkansas right now with the president of the PGA of America, Don Ray, also with Mr. David Kohler of the Kohler Company. Sir, thank you so much for being here. We got to give away some hardware, Mr. Ray.
We do. On behalf of the PGA of America, the PGA Reach Foundation, our presenting sponsors, Kohler and Chase, it is my honor to present you with the PGA Works Collegiate Championship Trophy. Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, we're also here with the medalists in the team competition, Jose Berenguel. Jose, talk about what this means for your school. First time being here, and you walk away with the hardware.
I mean, it means a lot having this opportunity to play in this amazing course, this iconic course, and winning the championship means a lot.
How did the man to your left help you guys get ready for this championship?
A lot, like we hard work a lot, a good practice, a few weeks of just practicing, and I think it's the hard work pay off, so good.
Hey, gents, what do you think about this trophy right here that you just earned for your school?
Great.
Now, the win today was a factor, something that you probably couldn't play for, the strategy that you use to traverse this course.
I mean, they was pretty tough, so my strategy just changed. Like I was just trying to put the ball in place and try to make up and downs, putt good, short games, and that's it.
And make some putts.
And make some putts, yeah.
Got some very happy faces down here. Burko, we'll send it back up.
Yeah, they made a lot of putts all week long. Did the Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions head coach Roger Totten, 5-time SWAC Coach of the Year. Amelia, you won a national championship with Wake Forest. How would you describe the satisfaction of what they just achieved collectively?
Satisfaction is a great word to describe it. Also relief. You finally got it done after all the expectation.
Takahashi, 2-shot lead, tee shot on the way at the last.
Going left, which is the riskier play. About 235 to get through that fairway.
Boy, that was gutsy. Would you have gone left with the 2-shot lead?
No.
The result worked out, but
I would have banked on hitting a longer iron shot into the green.
And Amelia, as you take a look at 18, you can see right there, left is narrow.
There's about 20, 30 yards of length there in that fairway compared to the right side. But now, though, Takahashi's going to have a much easier second shot.
And you see that undulating green, an enormous green here at 18. Looks like Hyunji Kim looking right, trails by 2, needs to find a way to try to make 3.
A bit of a pull, might get away with it with that slope.
Right. It appeared she was looking
Yeah.
right, but maybe that's her shot shape, and she knew what was required at the moment. But we'll see if she can put a little more pressure on Takahashi. Kim trails by 2 off the tee at the last. Will we see some fireworks coming down the stretch? Stay with us when we come back to Whistling Straits. We'll see how it all plays out.